From Camp Verde, Arizona, we're here for the title matches of today's JBT tournament, the season opening events at Cliff Castle Casino. For what, about the 9th or 10th straight year, we've opened the Arizona Conference up here in northern Arizona, and two bowlers who are non-winners on tour. You don't see that very often in the scratch division, so one of these two guys is going to capture their first scratch division title. This is top seed Ben Canfield on your right from California. The two-hander lets it go and shreds the rack, but forgot about the 7-pin over there in the corner. So we have a two-hander from California in Canfield and a one-hander from Nevada here in Jakob Butturff, who kind of throws it like a two-handed bowler. We'll talk a lot more about all of that as this match progresses. Jakob has won 3 matches to get the chance to play Ben for the title here. Ben switches to a plastic ball and goes hard and straight at the 7 and covers it up. Medium scoring pace today. We use the Bourbon Street pattern, and really that's another lesson for you guys. Last week in Washington we used the Bourbon Street pattern and the cut was under 100 down. Today the cut on the same pattern was plus 22. How could that possibly be? Well, the pattern is one thing, but there's a lot of other variables into how a shot plays, and surface is one of them. It's a extremely high friction surface. The center we used at last week is a much lower surface friction surface, so the pattern was much oilier. They could get the ball through the middle of the lane. The middle held up, and as you can see right there, as Ben's got a smile on his face, the middle's still holding up. That gave the bowlers a much more comfortable scoring environment and led to today's numbers. Not astronomical by any means. Ben qualified first at plus 276 for his 8 games plus bonus pins, but this guy's been putting up some big numbers here in the stepladder. The talented lefty from Vegas, spare working. Make that strike working and make that a tie match through 2. Nobody has been able to stop Jakob Butturff for the last 3 or 4 months, and I mean that on a nationwide basis. This is a name that you guys watching these films from all over the country might know about, but it's a name you're going to have to get used to, because starting from about our Tournament of Champions and the Mojave Invitational back in May and June, he has gone on a tear. The only thing he hasn't done was actually end up in the winner's circle. He would love to erase that here. A unique style that we'll talk a little bit more about. Can take an early lead with the double. You bet. And there you go. No fear, a lot of confidence, and obviously a lot of talent too. Handicap going simultaneously to the left. 2 non-winners over there too. So 4 non-winners going at it in the title match here. That's highly, highly unusual. Ben, a tall guy, he's going to use the full approach. There's no thumb in that ball. See, the left hand stays on the ball just until the point of release. So many more people are doing that than ever used to. It used to be that just no thumbing it was, you know, radical and crazy, and what are you doing? Now this two-handed thing started. The Palermo and Belmonte and a whole host of other bowlers. And Ben obviously does it very well to be leading this tournament. All 8 games over 200 today. With a high of 246, which he did twice, both in the semifinal rounds, and those are both wins. So that was a quick 150 pins that he picked up to go from plus 78 after 5 to vault past Smith and Carnate into the lead after game 8. Ben's made plenty of top 5s, but this is at most his 2nd or 3rd title match. He has yet to taste JBT victories. Stands deep inside to the left to accommodate all that hook that's going to go here. A little bit too much hook there. The lanes are drying out, obviously considerably. They bowled 5 games qualifying, a strip and oil, and then 5 more games, and then 3 games of match play, and it was a fairly short pattern, or a fairly low volume pattern too. So just like there was extreme high friction on the surface last week, the lanes have dried out into higher and higher friction, and the bowlers with more hand rotation have to keep chasing the oil in and not getting that ball too far out, or else it just checks up. And even the plastic ball that he switched to there hooks more than he wanted it to and chops the 3 off the 6. And the way Jakob is going right now, that is the worst thing you would want to do, to give this guy even more of an opening. Talked about the uniqueness of Jakob. His thumb is all the way in the ball, but it doesn't even look like it, because he's got a really unique ability to cup his wrist to an extreme degree, even though the thumb is in the ball. A little right right at target, leaves only the 6. The reason that throughout all time, you know, up until about the mid-90s when Mike Miller started doing it, that people didn't bowl no thumb is that the thumb is there primarily for control. When Mike Miller took his thumb out of the ball, you know, people saw that massive, massive rotation that matches up so well with these high-power bowling balls and everything, but most people would lose control. Mike is a unique individual that he can control the ball that well at a professional level and not have his thumb in the ball. For Jakob, it's really sort of the best of both worlds for him. He has the thumb in the ball, so he has the control, but he's got a no thumb kind of cocked wrist that lets him have all the power of a no-thumber, but all the control of a thumb inner. That is gold, and he has been making it count. But now that I've said nothing but good things about him for the last 2 minutes, bam, nose split. I can do that to anybody. I hit the ugly 4-7-10 down there is going to make this a much closer match. Well, let's see if we can make... Hey guys, careful. You're on... Thank you guys. Some littler fans on the camera there. Tough split obviously for him. He's got to get this ball way to the left of the 4th pin. We'll see if he goes for it. No, that's close. Yo! Are you kidding me? What can't Jakob Butturff do?
Come on, man.
Boy, and a calm reaction from just a hugely clutch split conversion right there. Are you kidding me? Just when Ben's right back in the match, Jakob takes it back away. Can Ben respond? No, not really. You see the frustration by his body language there. Yes, he's not able to control that big hook right now. And from an adrenaline surge of his opponent, most likely opening to get within a mark, he needs to spare this up to stay within 20. Wow. Well, nicely done at the 3 pin. Took a score plus 21 or more to make the cut today. So just about a 204 average, nothing too high. Good turnout today, thanks as always to the staff and crew here up at Cliff Castle. About 2/3 of the way up to Flagstaff from Phoenix. And on the old I-17. That looks better. There he is. That's the Ben Canfield we've seen all day long. All right, plenty of game left. We still got half the screen there to fill up some big numbers. And what will Jakob pull out of his hat next? After the Mojave Invitational, he went and beat the likes of Michael Haugen, Chris Clerk, and others in our Tournament of Champions. And that was just the beginning. 10 in the pit there. Then he went on to Junior Gold as a complete unknown, first-time bowler at Junior Gold, made the top 16 out of over 1,000 boys in that tournament. And then followed that up at our Touring Players Championship, which brings the best of the best from all over our tour to compete down in one of the same centers Gold was at, actually. And he finished in 3rd? At 3rd at the TPC. So just a run that any junior bowler would kill for. And it's a guy who, you know, no one really expected it from him. But you're going to have to start expecting it from him, guy, because there's just no let-up at all. Beautiful double there. And extends his lead to 29. However, here comes Canfield with that strike working. If he can extend his string to 3, it'll be back within 9 pins. We could have a nail-biter finish here. If you want to see who wins it, watch part 2.